The rags were wet, matted, covered in dirt and grime, but inside that tattered mess was no sign of my beloved wife. Rachel wasn't there. I looked around in confusion, trying to figure out what to do next. If she wasn't there, where was she? What had I been searching for this entire time? I remembered the look on Rachel's face when I came home. Didn't I? Then the awful realization hit me right in the gut. I had been looking at this the wrong way, hadn't I? This is what you've been trying to tell me all along, isn't it? I couldn't find Rachel there. I won't find her anywhere else because she was never there at all, was she? I stumbled back upstairs, the pain in my leg just a dull ache now, and sat down in my bedroom. My mind was spinning, and the ache I felt before was near crippling. Finally, I could no longer fight the exhaustion, and as I tried to grab hold of something that would make sense of all this, I must have drifted off. Okay. So, I am a nutcase. I guess these books were all actually mine then. It was my wallet. With its contents intact, either I dropped that stuff or somebody else did. Maybe I was sleepwalking again, or maybe somebody stole it from me. Norman's store, that forest, the water tower. Was I at those places before? Yes. Okay, now we're just kind of build our own adventure. I think that's what all this actually is. You just... Okay. I didn't see how it could have happened any other way. I must have been the one to lose my wallet and its contents. But what does that mean? Alright, if everything's different, I'll upload a video of what happens if you do choose it Rachel under there. Alright? Just so nobody's disappointed in that. It was the photo of the other man and his wife that I found in that house. Were those really his wife's remains of those tunnels? It certainly seemed so. What did I think? Did the other man murder the wife and bury her in those tunnels? No. I couldn't be sure. He could have been another victim. After all, he was dead when I woke up. Okay, this is actually getting a lot more interesting. A lot more replay value, that's for sure, if this is true. Used to tell myself that Rachel was the one who wanted to keep the tub. In the dirty faded glass, I looked like nothing more than a faint shadow. Okay, so am I gonna, like, just backtrack everything now? It was the keycard I found in the factory, the one that allowed me to slip through that door. It seemed to me that it was probably Norman's, but if that was true, what was he doing back at the plant? Did I think Norman was going back to the factory? No. Someone was going through those lockers, sure, but it didn't think it was Norman. Okay, so now, I think pretty much now, everything we decide actually affects the ending. The laptop had finally run out of power. Should've bought a Mac, dude. 10 hours, man. In the shards of broken mirror, I could see my face. Gaunt now, hollow, and sickly, and immensely troubled. What other illusions had I dreamt up? Tyler Durton. That name, yeah, maybe him. What other truths were there waiting to be exposed? Oh god, we're gonna have to backtrack this entire thing, aren't we? Okay, let's see what else. It was the letter I had taken from the post box. It gotten a bit wet in the rain. But who wrote that letter then? Who was Norman seeing? Oh no, Norman. If I was wrong about Rachel, then what about him? Did I do that horrible thing to him? Okay, it's time for realization. I must have. But why? Did we fight? Or was I tricked into thinking he was sneaking around with Rachel? What was happening to me? Oh. I still had no idea what was on that tape I found in the garage. In the garbage. If only I had found a way to watch it. I had that old TV for so long, I don't know if I could ever replace it. Oh, well, it's not HD anymore. Oh. Well, can't I just play it in there? The old VCR had no longer since broken down, and I never bothered to replace it. It was a piece of junk, but I couldn't really afford anything newer. Oh, you lied to me. This is a weird game now. This is actually starting to get interesting. Alright, let's see. Hey, there's a safe. My office safe sat on the floor. It used a digital passcode lock. Did I try to open it? The safe used an 8-digit code. What was the I have no idea. What? That's 9 digits in it. Yeah, I accidentally entered 9 digits. Oh, that wasn't it. Damn, I couldn't remember. Maybe it was, yes, let's try this again. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. No, that wasn't it. Damn, I couldn't remember. Yeah, that's way too tedious for me to keep trying. 8 names, written alongside those odd marks in different colors, were printed in that notebook. Heather, Olivia, Ashley, Cheryl, Iris, Daphne, Holly, Rose. I recalled the name I saw scratched out on that old desk, deep within those musty tunnels. Was that man in that house really up to something? There was no Rachel on it now. Interesting. It seemed like I had seen all there was. Maybe I thought I was ready to go back into that basement. The pile of mail on the floor I now saw was addressed to me. Bills, credit card offers, a letter from bank. They were all addressed to me. Interesting. Maybe there wouldn't be anything for me to find, but I had to take a last look. Oh. If I was guilty, I could take this to a warm, safe place and do something about it. Did I pick up the knife? Yes. I took the knife and kept it firmly in my hand. The wall was cracked and pitted. I was told by an inspector the basement had been partially filled in before I bought the house. But by the look of that wall, I was going to need to fix that foundation. Oh, so there was never a hole there? Huh. That's interesting. A little crazy, but... How many breakfasts had I eaten there, completely alone? Yeah, I feel you, dude. I must have locked the door. There was no reason to return to the backyard anyway. Oh, now out through the front. Watch, like, fucking cops, SWAT team, DEA all out front. I knew I needed to escape that nightmare, but what about that knife I still carried? I wondered even if I left, would it really be over? So did I leave that house forever? Yes. Yes, you did. No turning back now, man. It's all gone. Since I had arrived in town, things had been difficult. Working in that plant, though, it had been good for me. It kept me in line, gave me something to do, and helped me get away from my past. When the factory closed, everything changed. I guess that was when I had started sleepwalking, disappearing for hours at a time. Drinking was probably just a way to deal with that. It was almost as if I was trying to beat my brain at its own game. Speaking of drinking, here we go. Last of it. Oh, that one burned. Things stopped making sense sometime after that, and my memories of what happened are still in flux. I suppose that was when Rachel came along. This night had been the worst of my entire life. Would it even be possible to bounce back from everything that had happened, everything I'd seen? You know, in a way, I almost wish I hadn't even woken up that night. It would have spared me a lot of pain. What had happened to the other man I found in that old house? Had I killed him? Is that why I was locked in that room? Or did you? What had happened in those dank sewers? I was lucky in my way to even find my way out of there. But I never did find out what was on that tape that I now kept. Considering all I had learned tonight, I wasn't sure I wanted to. And what had I been doing at Norman's place, or even in the old forest? It didn't look good, that's for sure. Had I been responsible for what happened there? What did you think? Was I guilty, or was I just mad? That forest, though, was no escape either. That notebook especially left me troubled. I remembered seeing a similar list on that desk back in the tunnel. Who were the girls I mentioned there? I suspected there was more to those woods than I knew, though I had no intention of going back. I at least was adamant that Norman wasn't the one going back through the old plant. But who was? Do you think it was me? Is there something there you didn't want me to see? Didn't want us to discuss? I had to catch my breath, to take it all in. At each point until the factory, things had only gotten worse. But then going to Norman's store, that's where the confusion and doubt started to set in. That's when the perspective on all things really started to change. Norman, you bastard. I had killed you, and it was clear to me now why. You had taken Rachel from me. You were going to take her away altogether. In the end, you got what you deserved. But as painful as all of that was, oh no, I couldn't bear to think about it again. After all I had seen and done, finally coming home was supposed to be the end to this entire ordeal. I had no idea, though, that it was only the beginning. When I had first stepped through the kitchen door, the silence had been unnerving. But to think that I went through all of that, completely unaware of what I would discover. Had I killed Norman, thinking that that there was something going on? Everything that I had held dear and true was now spinning around me. I had nothing to ground me, nothing to give me purpose, or even the faintest hope of reason. Without Rachel, without what I thought was Rachel, I was lost forever. As the door swung open, I couldn't smell damp grass and the closeness of the air. After everything, it felt like I had more questions than answers. You made me see the truth. I'll give you that, but now I was... Is there a crackling in there? Is that my mic? Hope that isn't. You made me see the truth. I'll give you that, but now I was completely lost. You took away the only thing that had kept me going. I was sure words would get out, and soon enough the police would come looking for me. And what then? Would you be there to show me the way? What will I do then? Oh, that's it. It's just all narrated from there. Alright, so, basic thoughts of the game. It's kinda slow. Not a bad thing, but definitely terrible for a Let's Play, trust me. I really shouldn't have chose this for my first. As for the conclusion, kinda saw it coming. I think I called it within the beginning. I'm pretty sure if I chose Rachel, like, I would have been just completely correct. How did I see it coming? No. But in all, it's a good game. It's not too long, not too short. As a horror, I'm really disappointed though. I mean, this was just jump scares, and it's more of a mystery. It's best to play it as like a mystery game, not a horror. But and that's basically my thoughts. And well, that's home. If anything's different for when I choose Rachel or any of that other stuff, I'll upload it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe. Take care. If it lets me.